Hi, it's Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 15 of the May Daily Draw. So as we close out the weekend and approach a new week, let's see what kind of message we're going to get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Hidden Realms, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Beltane Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, so today we will go there, and our card is Shadow Dance. Shadow Dance. This is the equivalent of the Devil card. This is card 15. This is the Devil card, or the Shadow Dance. Dancing with our shadow side. I quite like that. I quite like the term Shadow Dance, because it is a bit like, sometimes it is like a bit of a dance with our shadow side. Sometimes it is like we're having to maneuver ourselves in regard to our shadow side. Sometimes comes in and tries to, well, and you know, we have to recognize our shadow side as is part of us, and accept that we have a shadow side to us. The things that we try and push down, the things that trigger certain behaviors, the things that tie us to various things. But what we need to realize about that is, particularly, you know, with the Devil card and everything, is that the illusion of the Devil card, of the Shadow Dance card, is that it may feel like we have no control. It may feel that we're bound to something, and that's the whole point. That's the whole purpose. That's the whole thing of the Devil card, to make us think that we're chained to something. But if you you know, the traditional meaning is that actually we're not as bound as we think we are, and if we just perceive the true nature, get our perception change, we can easily remove the chains. We can easily outmaneuver that shadow side. So it all begins with that realization that we are still in control, and we can choose not to give in to the shadow side. We have the choice. We always have the choice. And when we begin to recognize, when we begin to recognize our shadow side, and some of the reasons why the shadow side influences the way that it does sometimes, we begin to understand that shadow side, and we see it for what it is, then that in itself begins to diminish its power. That we can choose. We see that it's just a part of us, like our mind, like our emotions, and it uses those to try and sort of, you know, bring about certain responses. But we are ultimately, our higher selves are ultimately in charge of all these things, and we can use those things to say to our shadow side, no, I'm not responding that way. I understand why I want to respond that way now, but I'm going to choose not to. And that act of choice, okay, is where reclaiming the power, not giving the shadow side the power and the influence that it seeks. That's the important thing. certain aspects of our shadow is there is in a protective form, and sometimes we need to protect ourselves from being hurt, and it may not be the best way to respond to that and to protect ourselves. But if we appreciate the fact that it's there because of a self-protective reaction, then we can at least appreciate that it's there to, it has a purpose to protect us. It may not be the best way to do it, but it's a way, and it may be the way that in an emergency, in a desperate situation, that's what we can muster. And if that's the case, then we need to understand that and not be too hard on ourselves. That we all sometimes do that to get us out of a sticky situation. And it may, as I say, may not be the best response, but it may be the only response we can manage at the time. And if that's the case, then fair enough. Don't be hard on yourself. That's what you needed to do. And let's move forward. And let's learn from the experience and then think, well, maybe what would have been a better way to have handled the situation. So all these things are what we're thinking about as we close out this week and approach a new week. Maybe we need to be wary of our shadow side. Wary, but not alarmed, not overly concerned. Be aware, vigilant, and begin to recognize when it comes. But ultimately, remember that we have our own power and authority over the things that we do. So we need to reclaim that power back. Okay, so let's see what oracle card we get to go with that. Okay, here we go. And we have, that was an interesting card, Phoenix. Summoned, your flesh rises from the ashes into the expansive flame of your soul. That is, sometimes our shadow side leads us into things that brings about a downfall. But remember, even then, we can rise above that, even from the ashes of a situation. We, with the expansion of our soul, the expansive flame of our soul can rise above from that, and we can be rebirthed into something new, into we can get growth from that. So let us not fear this. Let us recognize, even when it brings us to that point of getting down to the ashes, we can rise from the ashes once again. So let that give us that sense of we can rise above anything, and we're going to be okay. Okay, so that is today's message. I'll be back tomorrow as we start the week with day 16. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.